Most people don't fail because they lack intelligence. They don't fail because they lack opportunity. They fail because they are mentally programmed to stay average. They follow the same patterns, make the same decisions, avoid the same risks. Meanwhile, a small group consistently breaks away. Not because they're special, but because they think differently. Today, we're breaking down why most people never break out of average and the psychology behind success. Welcome back to Cashflow Hacker, the channel where we break down how money, technology, systems, and strategy help you build real control over your life. This video isn't about tactics or tools. It's about how high performers are mentally wired and why most people never cross that line. Let's get into it. Average is a psychological state. Most people think average is about income, education, or background. It's not. Average is a mental operating system. It's built on comfort, predictability, social approval, and short-term safety. Average thinking prioritizes what feels secure right now, not what builds leverage over time. Breaking out of average requires going against instincts that feel natural to them but keep you stuck. Fear of deviation. Humans are wired to fit in. From a survival standpoint, belonging once meant safety. So when you think differently, take unusual paths, challenge social norms, your brain flags it as danger. Most people don't stay average because they lack ambition. They stay average because standing out feels risky. High performers accept temporary discomfort, social friction, uncertainty. Average thinkers avoid it. This single difference controls almost everything. Short-term thinking versus long-term strategy. Average thinking is short-term. It asks, what pays fastest? What's easiest today? What avoids discomfort now? High-level thinking is strategic. It asks, what compounds over years? What builds leverage? What sacrifices now create freedom later? Most people choose immediate relief over future control. Success requires delaying gratification when others won't. Identity. Who you believe you are. People don't rise to their goals, they fall to their identity. If you see yourself as just trying to get by, not the type who succeeds, someone who plays it safe. Your decisions will always align with that identity. High performers don't just set goals, they adopt a different self-concept. They don't ask, can I do this? They ask, who do I need to become? Success is behavioral before it is financial. Risk. How successful people calculate uncertainty. Most people misunderstand risk. They see risk as something to avoid, something dangerous, something reckless. High performers see risk as something to evaluate, something to structure, something to manage strategically. They don't avoid uncertainty, they engineer it in their favor. Staying in the same situation forever feels safe, but that is often the riskiest decision long-term. Responsibility versus blame. Average thinking asks, who is responsible for my situation? High-level thinking asks, what part of this do I control? This isn't about self-criticism, it's about power. Blame removes control. Responsibility creates it. People who break out of average take ownership even when circumstances are unfair. Because ownership gives leverage. Why most people never cross the line. Here's why most people never escape average. 1. They prioritize comfort over growth. 2. They seek approval over independence. 3. They think short-term instead of strategically. 4. They let identity limit action. 5. They avoid responsibility because it feels heavy. Not because they're incapable, but because they never reprogram their decision-making framework. Success is not a skill. It is a psychological orientation. How to rewire your thinking. You don't change your life by motivation. You change it by structure. Start here. Question default beliefs. Choose long-term leverage over short-term ease. Redefine your identity around growth. Accept temporary discomfort as the cost of control. Make decisions based on strategy, not emotion. You don't become successful by chance. You become successful by design. Breaking out of average doesn't start with money. It starts with how you think, decide, and act. On Cashflow Hacker, we go beyond surface-level advice. We break down the systems, mental, financial, and strategic, that create real independence. If this video made you see things differently, subscribe and check out the resources in the description. Change the way you think, redesign the way you operate, and build a life that isn't limited by average.